Now we all do it, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. We might feel guilty about it, but then do it anyway. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about procrastination. It's almost impossible to go about our daily lives without procrastinating at some point. We choose to do one thing, even though deep down really we know we should be doing something else. Perhaps we sat down to start a big project, and then 2 hours later you realise you're deep in YouTube or social media rabbit hole, endlessly watching videos or consuming content, and you're wondering, well, where the hell did the time go? In today's world full of constant distractions, it's easier than ever before. So just how do we get over it and stop ourselves procrastinating so much? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video I'll give you the strategies I use to beat procrastination once and for all. If you're new to my channel, I'm Nick and I like to explore productivity in ways we can enhance our own lives for the better. And even though I like to think of myself as productive and efficient, even I procrastinate, and quite a lot. For example, when I sat down to write this rare video, I found myself staring out the window, checking emails, looking at social media, and then I realised, wait, what the hell am I doing? I'm procrastinating about making a video about procrastinating, and I fell into the procrastination trap. So why do we procrastinate? Well, our brains like to get hits of dopamine, and often we might set ourselves longer term goals and things we need to be doing to achieve those goals, but there's always something that distracts us on that journey. And it's those things, these are the things that give us quick dopamine hits. So we're always easily tempted and swayed. Instead of focusing on what we should be doing, we just do other things instead. We put things off until the next day, because the short term tempting things, well, they feel good. They're often more fun or more enjoyable, perhaps even easier. Deep down we all know we shouldn't put things off, but we're all guilty of it, and the bad news is if we keep doing it, we'll just slow down or even stop our progress towards those long-term goals or ambitions. But we can do something about it, and here's a method you can use to overcome procrastination. First, we need to understand motivation. Typically we need to be motivated to get things done, but actually, let's flip and reverse that. Instead, we need to change motivation for discipline. Then by being disciplined to get things done, this in turn turns into motivation, because we have then made progress, and then the motivation naturally follows and actually makes us more productive and shifts aside that procrastination. So to be clear, motivation is not the cause of action, motivation is a result of action. So I mentioned about changing motivation for discipline. Discipline can be hard, but if we can be disciplined with doing a task, and we can do this repeatedly, then this can also form into a habit. And once it's a habit, it becomes easier to do because you're simply used to doing it regularly. As an example, I know that every Tuesday the bins have to be put outside the house to be emptied. Now, I don't particularly feel motivated to do this, but I do it every week, and that's because I've disciplined myself to do it, as otherwise the bins are just going to overflow and make a mess. And because I do it every week, well, it's just become a habit. Even if it's not a task that I enjoy, I do it, and after I've done it, I feel a sense of small accomplishment because I've done the thing, which means the bins are not going to overflow. The next thing we need to understand to overcome procrastination is resistance. So what do I mean by that? Well, resistance is something that prevents us doing the thing, therefore it blocks our creativity or progress towards goals. So we procrastinate because of this resistance to starting. But once we have started, that resistance for the task diminishes, and we procrastinate less and get into the flow of the task, and then we've stopped procrastinating. So the next time you're thinking about procrastinating, think about the resistance to starting. Try to focus your mind and give yourself a mental push to get started. Once you've done this and actually started, you'll find you overcome that procrastination much quicker. A technique you could also use here, if the task you're resisting is a longer or maybe harder task, quickly think of another task that's going to take you, say, less than 2 minutes. Then go and just do that instead. Once you've done that, you'll get a quick dopamine hit, and then you should immediately, without stopping or getting distracted, go straight back onto the main task that you were avoiding in the first place. And so this technique helps you get over the kind of getting started phase of procrastination. Another technique, if you don't have a 2-minute task, then instead think of another task that's maybe a little longer, but easier to start. It might be 5, 10 or 20 minutes. But the key really is to just get started with that task. Again, this will get you acting on that task. And then once you've started, you can move straight onto the main task. So if you are enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more tips. But onto my final technique that really boosts myself out of the procrastination trap. Now when we procrastinate, our mind might just be on a slump. It isn't thinking of anything in particular, it just can't be bothered to get started. Effectively, it's like a car that just won't start and just needs a jump start to kick into motion. So if I recognise I'm in this situation, I'm going to consciously give my brain that kickstart. I'll check my to-do list of random tasks, choose one immediately, without hesitating, get started on a task. I usually find that once I've done this, my brain kind of wakes up again, it starts going and it becomes focused and alert. And then once it's doing the task, it becomes re-energised. And once I've done this small task, I then immediately flip straight onto the main task that I was procrastinating about, and voila, I'm back up and running again and cooking on gas. And so these are all the techniques I use to stop procrastinating, and how I kick it to the side and get going again. Do you have any techniques that work for you? Perhaps pick one of these strategies to try and let me know in the comments how it goes. Stay tuned for more videos where I'm going to explore personal growth and productivity. Check out links coming up for more videos to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.